Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Minnesota.
From Nationals Park in D.C., the Twins hope to get back in the win column this afternoon. Game 2 of 3 between the Twins and the Washington Nationals. Phil Hughes with an interleague win in his last start. That was back at Target Field against the Brewers. He'll make the start for the Twins against right-hander Tanner Roark of the Nationals. And we welcome you to Nationals Park. The skies have cleared. It stopped raining. We've got baseball for you today. Dick and Bert with you for Game 2 of this series with the Washington Nationals. Today, Miguel Sano is going to move back to the infield at third base, but over the last week or so, he's really started to swing the bat well.
Yeah, you know, and it took a while for Miguel Sano to finally get into that groove, and boy, over the last 6 ball games he has. 3 home runs. They've all been solo home runs, so the Twins would like to get some guys in front of him when he does hit that long ball, but this guy is one of the guys for the future of the Minnesota Twins. Good to see him swinging a hot bat now.
Well, what they're saying now about Washington and baseball, first in WAR, first in peace, maybe first in the National League, as the Twins and Nationals will square off in Game 2 of the series. Twins, of course, originated here in D.C., and an interleague matchup coming up this afternoon. Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is presented by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. And by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. A 4-game winning streak. They now have lost 3 of the last 4. Cloudy skies. We had rain throughout the morning here, and it stopped about a half hour, 45 minutes ago. And we think we're in the clear here for baseball this afternoon. Menard's batting order for the Twins, and it sure looks a little different. Brian Dozier back in the leadoff spot playing second base. Eddie Rosario hitting second playing left. Joe Mauer at first and Miguel Sano moving back to the infield at third base. Arcia taking his place in right. Then Escobar, Kepler in center, Suzuki and Hughes.
And that lineup facing Tanner Roark. Roark, 29 years old, making his 4th start of the year. This is his first career start against the Minnesota Twins, and his 9th interleague start, where he's 3-4 with a very good 2.70 ERA. Roark, good fastball, curveball, slider, and a changeup. All 4 pitches.
Dozier, Rosario, and Mauer, and the first pitch popped up to short. 1 pitch, 1 out. That'll bring up Eddie Rosario. Northland Ford defense for the Nationals. Jason Worth back out there in left field. Chris Heisey gets center field. Bryce Harper in right. Rendon, Espinoza, Stephen Drew, the second baseman. Zimmerman at first. And briefly a Twin, Wilson Ramos behind the plate.
Yeah, you know what? Good pitching. They have very good pitching here for the Nationals, and also very good defense.
Worth made a great catch, maybe took a home run away from Byron Buxton. Now here's Eddie Rosario. Down and away, ball 1. Two and 0. Jim Joyce behind the plate. Toby Basner, James Hoy, Chad Fairchild on the bases.
Yeah, Joyce, a home plate umpire, he will really let you know if it's a ball or especially a strike. He'll blare it out.
He's calling cattle or pigs. One of the best umpires in the game. 3-0 now to Rosario.
Rosario over the last 5 games hitting .471. There he
you
is.
Go.
Yep.
Bauer on deck. Rosario trying to get aboard.
Now Rosario thought that ball was outside. He headed toward first base. But Jim Joyce, as you heard, he thinks it's a strike.
Rosario, unlike him, has taken 5 pitches here.
Everything's been away. Now going inside. Rosario fouls it off. Wilson Ramos caught catching here this afternoon. Tanner Roark. Roark in his 4th season with the Nationals. Last year, or 2 years ago, a 15-game winner last year between starting and relieving.
One outside, got a swing and a miss, 2 down. In our Toyota Key stat this afternoon, Joe Mauer's reached in all 17 games. And he's looked very much like the Joe Mauer, I don't want to say of old, it was just a few years ago. He was hitting over 300 and had an on-base percentage of over 400.
Joe hitting at .333, 3 doubles, a triple, a home run. He's driven in 6 runs.
For fans who come to games, and we do the best we can to cover it on television, it's fascinating from at bat to at bat to see who gets shifted and then try to figure out why. And Mauer beats the shift with a little looper into short left. He'll round first and hold up there. Worth with a 1-hop throw to second base. Dozier was not shifted. Neither was Rosario, left-handed batter, but Mauer was. And so coaches, managers have meetings about these things, and they concluded that Joe probably was going to pull the ball, and so he beat the shift with a little flare to left.
Yeah, it's unusual because usually they play Joe the other way because he doesn't pull the ball that often.
And Dozier's been shifted regularly over the last week or so, and he was not.
And then sometimes you do it off the pitcher who's on the mound, but Roark, pretty good fastball in the low 90s, curveball, slider. You know, scouting report probably pitch him in, try to make him pull the ball, but Joe inside out at that in the left field.
Sano hitting cleanup and playing third base. Paul Molitor kind of hinted that the Twins were considering this a couple days ago and got to the ballpark today, and lo and behold, Sano back in the infield. 1-0. 2-0, and the move not made because the Twins wanted to try to get his bat going, putting him in a more familiar position, because truth be told, that started about a week ago, as we showed you. He's really had some good at bats and showing some power as well.
Watch out.
Nearly got Escobar. A home run as home run number 2 came at straightaway center field.
Yeah, that coming in the 8th inning off of Felipe Rivero.
Hit out there off the diagonal wall over the 402 marker. 3-1 with Arcia on deck. Swung through a fastball, and it's a full count. Mauer will be able to leave early from first, and it looks like Zimmerman's going to hold. Nope.
Yeah, letting his pitcher know, Rourke, that he'll be playing behind Joe Mauer.
Full count to Miguel Sano. Taken a little bit low, and that's again something that will serve Sano very well in his big league career. Doesn't expand the strike zone as much as most power hitters do. First and second with 2 away.
Yeah, 13th walk of the season. Joe leading the Twins with 14 walks, so good take right there by Sano.
And now Arcia in the lineup because of the move Sano back to the infield, and it's Sano getting the start in, or excuse me, Arcia in right field in an RBI spot here in the first inning. Over the inside corner, strike 1. And now a ball, 1-1.
It's no surprise what the Twins want Arcia to do is just make better contact. 11 strikeouts in 28 at bats.
And now 2-1. Rourke's pitch count running up here in this first inning, even though Dozier popped up on the inning's first pitch. An off-speed pitch that hits the corner, 2-2.
Yeah, good changeup right there, and a hitter's count, 2-1. Pulled the string, outer half of the plate.
Ramos trying to pull the ball down into the strike zone, getting the call from Jim Joyce. 2-2. And Arcia strikes out, leaving 2 aboard. Mauer singles, Sano walks. No score after a half. Baseball when the Nationals hired Dusty Baker, and it's worked out very well. And from the early returns, he's maybe the perfect personality fit for this clubhouse.
Yep. It's a veteran type ball club.
Menard's batting order for the Nationals: Chris Heisey leading off, then Anthony Rendon, Bryce Harper, Ryan Zimmerman, Stephen Drew, Jason Worth, Wilson Ramos, Danny Espinosa, and then the pitcher.
That's Phil Hughes on the mound for the Twins, making his 4th start. This is his 2nd career start against the Nationals, and great interleague numbers. We talked about Phil Hughes in the open in our pregame, and Phil Hughes 7-0 over his last 7 starts in interleague play, 11-4 overall. This is his 18th interleague start.
Heisey was waiting for a first pitch fastball. He got it, looked at foul, but cracked his bat in the process. 1 strike.
And of course, the Nationals know all about Phil Hughes, that he's a strike thrower, so go up there, be looking for that fastball, be ready to swing. Phil doesn't walk too many batters.
Squaring to bunt, and Hughes picks it out of the grass and has an easy play. 1 away. 1 down. That'll bring up Rendon, but first a look at the Twins defense. For the first time this year, Miguel Sano is an infielder. In the outfield, it's Rosario, Kepler, and Arcia. Sano and Escobar left side of the infield, Dozier, Mauer on the right side, and Suzuki behind the plate. Arcia has seen some time both in left and in right field, but with Sano moving to the infield, we'll see how it goes. The jury is out as to how well he'll do. Kepler in center for Buxton, and there's a strike at the knees. Sano last year got into 9 games, some of them late as a third baseman, a couple of games at first. Didn't take ground balls there during spring training. Rocket up the middle, a well-hit ball for Rendon, and a 1-out single.
Rendon picked up a couple hits in his first 2 at-bats last night.
And the Nationals won handily last night without anything offensively from Bryce Harper.
Yeah, 0 for 4 with a walk for Bryce Harper, but still, this guy, look at the 8 home runs, tied for the Major League lead, the 22 runs batted in, leads all of baseball.
So Harper comes up with 1 on and 1 out. He was up in a similar situation last night in the first inning, and he hit a comebacker, or a chopper, in front of Gibson. And Gibson fielded it as quickly and cleanly as he could have, fired to second as quickly and cleanly as he could. And Harper beat the relay. He hustled down the line, of course, as you're supposed to, but he beat the relay, and then Kyle Gibson had a terrible time getting the 3rd out that inning. Nationals had 4 runs, and it was pretty much downhill from there. 1 strike, and now inside 1-1.
Harper only 23 years old. This is his 5th season already with the Nationals. National League Rookie of the Year in 2012. Then last year, the National League MVP. Most valuable player.
It's popped up a foul ball, and Sano watches it spin back into the seats.
Talk a little bit about Harper, where he stands in a batter's box. He doesn't stand all the way back. He's about a foot closer to the pitcher than most guys are, but very quick hands. Starts with a little bit of an open stance, and then when that ball delivered toward home plate, he'll pick up that right foot and kind of go right toward the pitcher's mound.
Just off the outside corner. He was trying to clip the corner with a cutter, and it's 2-2. The quick hands, I would imagine, are the very reason why he stands up in the box. And he can make the point of contact out in front of the plate.
He's a good hitter. You have to change speed. You have to change eye angles with him. There's no one way to get this guy out.
Into the right field corner, and Arcia will chase it. On his way to third is Rendon. And the throw to second base, not in time. It's a double for Harper.
I think we saw some quick hands right there by Harper. Pitch looked like it was going to be middle in, and he opened up quickly. A little cutter. You can see him get out very quickly, line it into that right field corner. Garcia gets it back in. And for Harper, his 5th double of the year puts runners at second and third with 1 out.
Zimmerman, the batter. He was trying to pitch out of a first inning situation, something that Gibson had a tough time doing last night. On the outside corner at 92.
I'll take another look at this cutter right here that starts inside, stays inside, but look how quick Harper got the barrel of a bat out.
And now inside 1-1. Zimmerman, a former third baseman, moved across the infield to first. Something that might eventually happen with Sano, but the Twins are pretty well stocked at first base with Mauer and Park. 1-1. And now up and in 2-1.
One thing Phil does, he changes speeds pretty well with that little cutter, and then he'll mix in a curveball. Would like to get a strikeout here.
Infield back all the way around. They'll concede a run here to get the second out of the inning. Pass Dozier into center. Rendon scores. Harper being waved around. Kepler's throw cut off. And now Sano will run, and eventually they'll get Zimmerman, but after a 2-run single. 3 straight hits and an early lead again today for the Nationals.
That's actually pretty good base running by Zimmerman right there. Give yourself up, because that throw, he hit that ball so sharply that Kepler came in. And you can see Sano becomes the cutoff man. And Brian just misses that line drive. He gets into center field. So Zimmerman picking up his 5th and 6th RBIs of the year. And it's an early 2-0 Nationals lead.
Stephen Drew will bat. Over the inside corner. Hughes has given up 3 runs, 3 earned runs in each of his first 3 starts. And now right out of the chute in the first inning, the Nationals get 2 in the first, and there is strike 2. Twins with a pull shift on for Drew. That means Sano is the only infielder on the left side, and now he's back where a shortstop would normally be with 2 strikes. And Drew strikes out the end of the inning, but 3 straight hits and a couple of runs in the first for Washington. Fox Sports North is presented by CenturyLink. Switch to CenturyLink Prism TV for an advanced TV experience. Learn more at cprismtv.com. A two-spot for the Nationals in the first inning, and now Eduardo Escobar will lead things off in the second. Max Kepler, Kurt Suzuki will follow. Zimmerman's two-run single, giving Washington another early lead. Escobar takes outside 2-0. Twins had a threat. They got a two-out single from Mauer and a full count walk to Sano, but then Arcia struck out on 5 pitches. 2-1. One thing that I think that's been proven over the last 5, 7, 10 years, foul back, the insufficiency of the batting average in being a telling statistic, whether it is for an individual player or a team. That's down the right side foul. In other words, the name of the game when you're hitting is to score runs, and batting average is a component of it, but it's hardly the most significant stat. And team wise, here we have these two teams. The Twins are hitting as a team .250 and the Nationals just .244. And a called third strike. Escobar's gone, yet the Nationals are outscoring the Twins 73-57.
Yeah, 14 more runs, and they have played one less game than the Twins.
Third strikeout for Rourke, this one clipping the inside corner.
Working inside with that two-seamer that comes back over the inner part of the plate. So Rourke picks up strikeout number 3.
Max Kepler getting the start in center field. And he takes strike 1. Big thrill for all of us, at least those born in the United States, to come to D.C. and see the sights. So I asked Kepler yesterday, a little free time before a night game, what he was going to do, and appropriately he went to the German embassy to meet the German ambassador. On the outside corner, 1-2.
Yeah, Kepler grew up in Belgium. Berlin. Both parents were ballet dancers in Germany.
And just to be clear now, ballet, not belly dancer.
Not belly,
right.
Ballet.
Okay. 2-2. And he stayed with an off-speed pitch and tapped it foul. Twins are 6th in the American League in batting average, but one of the stories of the opening 3 weeks has been its at times inability to score runs. Clutch hitting has been in short supply. Kepler lifts it foul.
Kepler, last year Twins minor league player of the year, the Sherry Robertson Award.
Hanging in there against Rourke. Comes another 2-2 pitch. Drive to right field, and Harper in the corner won't get it. High off the wall, and Kepler digs for second. Great at bat for Max Kepler as he checks into second with a 1-out double.
Yeah, second double for Kepler. Both hits have been doubles so far.
Through this spring, and he did have a good spring training in his handful of at bats. We've seen him spray the ball all over the field.
He weighted back nicely on that breaking ball. Good extension over the head of Harper. So a 1-out double for Kepler. Second hit for the Twins.
Last couple games, Paul Molitor's had the pitcher in the eighth spot. He's switched back to the more conventional lineup with the pitcher hitting ninth, and that'll bring Suzuki to the plate here with Kepler at second and one away.
Suzuki picked up a couple singles in last night's ball game.
Down and in, ball one. Outside corner, 1-1.
Suzuki in his third season with the Twins, 10th major league season overall. With the Oakland A's, he played here for the Nationals in 2012 and 13.
Kepler with good speed at second. Hit to the outfield should bring him home. Hasn't played much since being called up. The Twins are going to have to make a roster move tomorrow to accommodate Tyler Duffy, who will be called up to pitch in Irvin Santana's place. Santana has a bad back, and they're just going to try to give him a couple extra days before his next start. 1-2. And Suzuki strikes out number 2.
Strikeout number 4.
And that'll bring up Phil Hughes. Today's Cold Hard Fact brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. And the Twins, who played 4 games against Milwaukee, the worst pitching staff, or one of them in the National League, now has to play this weekend series against the best pitching staff.
Yeah, very good starting staff. 9-3. You see the 2.59 earned run average. Bullpen had a little hiccup last night, but overall 3-1 out of their bullpen with 7 saves.
Phil Hughes takes ball 1.
Phil 0 for 15 as a hitter.
And a strike.
Into 15 at bats, 6 strikeouts. Does have a couple sacrifices, but he's here to swing away in this at bat. Maybe pick up his first major league hit and run batted in.
On the outside corner, 1-2.
Another reason I like the DH.
Kepler with a double. He's left at second. It's 2-0.
Lead in Washington, D.C. I'm Marnie Gellner. Miguel Sano is making his first start of the season at third base this afternoon, and Paul Molitor said, I still consider Sano to be our right fielder. This is just a temporary fix for today. And Molitor said that Sano has been taking ground balls at third base, that he has pretty good hands, and as Molitor said, quote, he is fairly mobile for the size of the man that he is. I also talked to Sano, who told me he felt very comfortable out there. It kind of comes back pretty quickly from all the time he's played at third base. He said he's a little nervous, mostly excited. Dick and Birdie said the best thing about playing third base is that it's a shorter jog to the dugout.
Well, in watching him in the first inning, he was pretty active moving in and out. I'm pretty sure that Heisey's bunt was intended to go toward third base instead of to the mound to try to challenge Sano right away. Check swing and a strike, and he's been moving in and out, and he feels, I'm sure, instinctively pretty comfortable over there.
Yeah, I mean, he's played third base in the minor leagues, but you know, he'll be keeping a close eye on the dugout, who's moving him in and out. Gene Glenn, normally the coach that will move the infield, and Butch Davis moves the outfielders. There's Butch Davis right there.
Ground ball left side. Nice pickup. Escobar firing to Mauer, one away.
Nice play by Escobar right there, going to his left.
And that'll bring up Wilson Ramos.
Ball going toward the middle. You see where Escobar playing pretty straight up at short. And it spins and makes a good throw over to Mauer for the first out.
One down. And Ramos the batter.
Yeah, Ramos, former Twin, signed by the Twins out of Venezuela back in 2004. He got traded over to the Nationals for Matt Capps back in late July of 2010.
At the time of the trade, the Twins had John Roush as their closer in the first half of the year. The pop up wide of first, and Mauer watches it go about 10 rows back. And then Capps came over to be the closer. Roush slid down into a setup role. The Twins had a pretty good bullpen that year, but of course didn't get out of the first round of the playoffs after all. Nationals got a catcher that they hope to keep healthy. Injuries have been an issue for Ramos since the trade. Down and in, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, last year caught a career high 128 ball games, hit only 229, but did hit 15 home runs and drove in a career high 68 runs.
Escobar gets another chance. 2 down. We mentioned John Roush, and that triggered another thought. John Roush, the tallest man to ever play for the Twins, play at all, actually, at 6'11". He's 1 inch taller than Randy Johnson. And that might not last too long, because we mentioned Tyler Duffy, who was supposed to start today for Rochester, is being called up to pitch tomorrow against the Nationals. Irvin Santana with a bad back. And Luke Van Meel is going to make the start, or has made the start today for Rochester. At 7'1", right?
7'1", yeah.
As Van Meel tries to reemerge as a Twins prospect. Now, you know the guy a little bit because he was on one of your WBC teams, right?
He was in last year. He was, oh, excuse me, I say last year, but 2013. He was a reliever for us with the World Baseball Classic, the Netherlands team, or if you want to say the Netherlands team.
I'll say Netherlands.
Okay.
And Espinosa again looking to bunt, and the bunt almost certainly trying to be directed toward third base to see if the converted outfielder back to the infield today can make that play.
He was playing back on the dirt a little bit. Now Sano looking in at Gene Glenn. Do I stay where I'm at? Just at the edge of the grass, the infield grass. Yeah, Espinosa had a good night at the plate last night. Got a couple hits, drove in a run. I like what Tim Laudner said in the pregame, that basically, you know, the lower part of this lineup with, well, was Lobaton last night and then Escobar. Those and then the pitcher spot. You got to get those guys out.
Bouncer to the right side. Phil Hughes, a fly ball pitcher, gets 3 ground ball outs in a 1-2-3 set.
Doge.
He's my dude.
Oh, just a goofball.
Always smiling, always having fun.
Good old Southern boy.
Southern guy that, you know, he'll surprise you with his dance moves and singing.
Doesn't let anybody else touch the playlist in the clubhouse.
Yeah, he's just a goofball all around.
And the Twins need Brian Dozier to get his bat going and put together the type of full season he did in the first half yesterday. So far this year, the season's gone the way the second half did for Brian.
Yeah, just not squaring up the pitches. He's popping up a lot. Shows bunt right there. Takes a ball, fastball high.
Swung at the first pitch in the first inning, popped it up to Espinosa. It'll be Dozier, Rosario, and Mauer in a 2-0 ball game. 1-1.
A slider right there by Rourke to even the count.
Two and one.
Last year the Nationals had Doug Fister that kind of took over the starting role for Rourke, and he ended up in the bullpen last year. And when Fister got hurt, Rourke had an opportunity to get back into that rotation. But again, 2 years ago, 15 wins, 10 losses, ERA at 2.85.
Off the plate, a full count with Rosario on deck. Pulled foul. Twins at 5-12. Not a good record, of course, but the Astros are 5-12 too. The Astros emerged last year as a playoff team, and everyone assumed that would carry over to this year. So far, it hasn't.
Yeah, mainly their pitching staff has been very inconsistent. Another strikeout for Rourke. Dozier swinging at a pitch looked like it was out of the strike zone, so strikeout number 6 for Rourke. So challenging him with a fastball. Ramos sitting away. Brian swinging through it.
That would have been ball 4.
Yep.
One down. Here is Rosario. Yeah, last year the Astros got into the playoffs because they gave up the fewest runs in the American League. So far this year they've given up the most. That shows you how fickle pitching can be. Pretty much the same cast of characters, right, for Houston?
Yeah, it's still early, but you know, you can lose a division in April as well as in September. So everybody wants to get off to a good start. The Twins have not. The Braves have not. Houston has not. But the Nationals have, and the Cubs have.
Astros entering play today with a team ERA of 5.05. 2-1 to Rosario, and a high fly left center field. Heisey over, now in, makes the catch, 2 away. You know, we show a lot of different stats regarding Joe. He's hit .336 in this ballpark. He's hit .353 in interleague play since 2012. I think with the numbers and the variety of stats that we give you, tell you the guy's a pretty good hitter.
Yes, he is.
There's a pitcher, as there is for every hitter, several pitchers that just give you trouble. And Joe so far this year has given the Twins what he gave them when he was winning batting championships, and in the case of 2009, well, I won't say that because he had 28 home runs in 5 months. He hasn't shown the Twins that power yet, but much better at bats, and he will tell you he's seeing the ball better, and that's evident based on the lack of strikeouts, the number of walks, the foul pitches on 2 strikes, everything we saw when he was winning batting championships.
Yeah, they're talking a lot about the strobe glasses that Nike kind of gave Joe to help him with his swing, but right there he swings at a high fastball, and Rourke is on a strikeout roll.
7 of them through 3 innings and a 2-0 lead. The Nationals struck for 3 hits and a couple of runs in the first. And we go to the bottom of the third. Now Tanner Roark, 5 hits, 40 at bats as a hitter, and he takes strike 1 from Phil Hughes.
Yeah, 0 for 3 this year is Roark.
High drive to center, and Kepler drifts back.
They gave it a ride. Whoa.
That's 390 feet from home plate, 1 away. And the fans applauding Roark with a long fly out to center. Our Carsoup.com trivia question: the only active manager with more wins than Dusty Baker.
Well, you would think it's that guy out in Anaheim.
Would be my guess. Chip Hale has a ways to go.
Well, so does Paul.
That's true. That is true. 1 strike. Heisey tried to bunt, very likely toward third base to test Sano right out of the chute, but the bunt was directed toward the mound, and Hughes, as it turned out, had an easy play. 1-1. And a generous outside corner there. Heisey doesn't like it. It's 1-2.
Yeah, good pitch right there. Phil Hughes has retired 5 straight since a shaky first.
Get the inside corner, but missed. 2-2.
Heisey, 31 years old. This is his 7th season at the big leagues with the Reds, Dodgers, and now in his first season with the Nationals. Just a bit inside.
Pop up right side, Mauer. And out number 2. April 29th is wrestling night at Target Field.
Yes.
Dick and Bert will be wearing singlets. A limited number of wrestling night theme night ticket packages are available that include a game ticket.
Let me see your wrestling face.
And Twins wrestling mask. I won't need one because I'm going to get a wrestling mask.
Okay.
There it is right there. That looks fearsome.
Ooh, looks like me.
A VIP package is available that includes a private meet and greet opportunity with 4 legendary pro wrestlers. Go to twinsbaseball.com wrestling night to learn more about the wrestling night theme night offer. You know, I'll be curious who those guys are, or women. I suppose it could have been women professional wrestlers they're going to bring in for the meet and greet. Here's Rendon. My impression, having met a lot of the pro wrestlers of my era, you know, the Nick Bockwinkel's, the you know, people like that, Blackjack Lanza.
Did you meet Vern Gagne?
I did meet Vern Gagne years ago. Baron von Raschke. The bad guys in real life were nicer than the good guys in the ring. You know what I mean?
And that's not fake either. I mean, they're really going at it.
The pro wrestlers are?
Yeah.
If that's what you want to believe. 2-1. Fouled back.
Well, Vince McMahon has brought it to another level.
Yes, he has. And I can tell you that I've spent more time discussing this with you today than I have watching the WWE.
I like the Bushwhackers. Do you remember them?
No.
They were twin brothers that would probably about 5'5" would come in and wrestle whoever.
Now, how long ago was that?
Oh, this had to be in the I'm going to guess. I remember, it had to be in the 80s. Yeah,
okay.
Mid-80s.
I'm sorry, I don't remember. I stopped watching about the time I got into college. George Scrap Iron Gadasky was one of my favorites. He lost every match he was in.
Jesse the Body Ventura.
Fouled away. The capable Kenny J lost every match he was ever in. He was the patsy for Vern Gagne, Nick Bockwinkel, and all that.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Can you imagine coming in and saying you're going to lose? What good is that? Oh, yeah, by the way, how much you going to give me to lose?
2-2 to Rendon, battling Hughes.
Big men. Big men.
Now full count, Harper on deck.
Rendon started that little rally with one out in the first inning by a base hit, and then followed by Harper's double, and then the 2-run single by Zimmerman. Only scoring in the ballgame so far off of Phil Hughes.
Jam shot and a dribbler to Sano on the run. He flicks to Mauer, makes a nice play. 7 in a row set down by Phil Hughes and Miguel Sano. How many times you see it? A guy makes a routine play at third and he leads off the next inning. By Northland Ford. Visit northlandford.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. Pups in the park day here. And
yeah, they were out early walking the around the field in the rain. Poor dogs. Poor owners. They were getting wet.
That's pretty expensive dog food there. Is that a hot dog? And how much is that here at this ballpark? Miguel Sano takes ball one. He threw a walk on a 3-2 pitch in the first inning. Trying to make contact here against Tanner Roark. On the outside corner, 1-1. Roark struck out 2 in the first, 3 in the second, 2 in the third. Down the middle, 1-2.
Yeah, Roark over his young career and not a lot of major league starts. This is just his 52nd major league start. He's not really been a strikeout type pitcher. But he is so far this afternoon.
Sano swings through, strike 3.
Strikeout number 8.
Fox Tracks brought to you by Jeep. Letter high fastball right there, and Sano swung under it.
Yeah, Roark's high in strikeouts, 11. That came a couple years ago in San Diego.
Breaking ball on the outside corner. The Twins over the last week and a half have done a really nice job cutting down on the number of strikeouts, but 8 already among the first 10 outs recorded. 1-1 to Arcia, who struck out with 2 men on in the first. Two and 1. Three and 1. Escobar on deck.
Yeah, Roark has 1 walk. That was Sano in the first inning. Big pitch number 65.
And Arcia spins away. He'll trot to first with a 1-out walk. Twins fans, if you can't watch the games on TV, you can now stream games live on your mobile device. Go to your app store, download the free Fox Sports Go app, log in and stream the Twins wherever you go. And the Twins need to break through here against Tanner Roark. Escobar was called out on strikes his first time up. fouled away, 1 strike.
Yeah, Rourke making his 4th start of the year. His last start came in Miami 5 days ago. He ended up losing 6-1. Gave up 4 earned runs in 6 innings. Came into the ball game with 17 innings pitched in the first 4 starts with 9 strikeouts. He has 8 so far here in 3 1/3 innings.
Inside.
Rourke originally signed by the Texas Rangers in 2008 at the University of Illinois. Came over here to Washington in a trade in late July of 2010. The Nationals sent Christian Guzman to the Texas Rangers. Former Twins shortstop.
And now Escobar trying to anchor that position for a few years. He would be the first guy to do that since Guzman left. One and 2 to the Twin shortstop. Kepler on deck. Another strikeout. Number 9. There have only been 11 outs recorded.
That gets this one on a good breaking ball down and in. Now, of course, Escobar likes that ball down. So Rourke goes underneath that swing. Yeah, a good stop by Ramos on that little short hop. That's where you get a lot of strikeouts against left-handers if you can get it underneath their swing, and Rourke does that.
Kepler had a really good at bat in the 2nd inning against Rourke. Battled him for a while with 2 strikes. Ended up driving a double over the head of Harper in right field.
Yeah, he got a breaking ball up and stayed back nicely and flicked it into that right field corner sharply.
I like how you described that, because what we've seen of Kepler's swing, it is just kind of a flick. There's not an awful lot of exertion like there is, say, with Arcia. You know, Kepler, some have compared him to like John Olerud, just a real smooth swing, gap to gap guy.
Very strong hands to be able to hit that ball like he did over the head of Bryce Harper. I mean, it was just looked like a pitch up, right, and he just flicked it solidly.
Get a sense of how strong he is and how strong he's become. The ball left home plate, you didn't think much of it, but Harper gave up on it as soon as it left the infield.
The Twins saw something where, you know, they signed him when he was 16 years old.
Called 3rd strike.
Goodness, strikeout number 10.
10 strikeouts through 4 innings for Tanner Rourke and a 2-0 lead. Bryce Harper will lead off the bottom of the 4th. Off the bottom of the 4th inning, Phil Hughes has pitched well with the exception of the 3 at-bat span in the 1st inning when they got 3 hits and their 2 runs. He's retired everybody else.
7 straight right now for Phil Hughes. Keep your club in the game. That's all you can do when you give up runs early.
You saw that when Ricky Malasso gave up a 4 spot in the 2nd inning a couple starts ago. 1-0 to Harper. He doubled to the right field corner his first time up, and then later scored on Zimmerman's single over the inside corner.
Harper, the Nationals' #1 pick in 2010, the first pick overall in the 2010 draft.
Dozier ends up catching that with his glove facing up, a line drive for the first out of the 4th inning. Sanford Health injury report: Irvin Santana with a stiff back will be, they hope, just pushed back a couple of days, and Tyler Duffy, who was supposed to start today in Rochester, is on his way here. He'll start tomorrow instead.
I remember Duffy got called up in August of last year, did very well, 5-1 in 10 starts. So he'll get an opportunity here tomorrow.
He, Alex Meyer, and Jose Barrios are all pitching very well for Rochester, and it was closest to Duffy's turn to start. Plus, he's on the 40-man roster. Barrios is not, so it'll be Duffy tomorrow. And then, just as an interesting side note, good for me to see Luke Van Meel get a start. Big 7'1" right-hander. The Twins have reacquired.
Well, they want to stretch him out a little bit.
2-1, and that got Suzuki.
How can you stretch out a 7'1" guy?
Well, you've seen him pitch, though, but I mean, it's not just 7'1", but he's kind of over the top,
he's
too,
straight
right?
over the top. But, you know, control has always been an issue with the fastball. If he can control that fastball, he's got a good, hard slider, and the angle itself is fun to watch. It's got to be tough to hit against.
Suzuki says, yeah, let's go. Jim Joyce talking with Phil Hughes, giving Suzuki some time to recover from another foul tip.
That's had about a half a dozen times that Suzuki's been hit already this year.
2-1 to Zimmerman.
He takes a beating back there.
Just one other question about the big 7-footer Luke Van Meel. How hard does he throw?
He'll throw probably 94, 95.
Oh,
he can get it up
throw
there.
in the mid-90s. Yeah. Okay. And Zimmerman takes a walk with 1 out in the 4th.
Well, that ends a streak of 8 straight outs retired by Phil Hughes in the first walk, a rare walk.
Target Field suites are available for single game rental for groups of 16 to 150 plus. Enjoy a climate-controlled experience and a fantastic view of the Twins game with food and beverage included. Learn more at twinsbaseball.com/groups or call 800-33-TWINS to schedule your suite at Target Field. Here's Stephen Drew. Struck out quickly after the damage had been done in the 1st inning. A high drive to deep right field. Garcia back and making the catch right in front of the fence, out number 2.
Yeah, Drew, who struck out on 3 pitches to end the first, jumped on that high fastball. Garcia going back and making the catch for the 2nd out.
That'll bring up Worth. Worth with a bouncer to short. Hit the ball fairly hard to Escobar's left. He made a good play leading off the 2nd. Strike 1. Nationals out hitting the Twins 3-2. They bunched their hits together for a 2-run burst in the 1st inning.
Worth at 6'5", about 235 is what they have him listed at in his 6th season with the Nationals. Came up with the Blue Jays, spent time with the Dodgers and the Phillies. Signed a long-term contract with the Nationals.
Off the plate, 2-1.
Worth missed some time last year for the Nationals, had the left wrist surgery. 3rd time that he's had surgery on that left wrist, back in May of last year.
Dozier catches another line drive. Some well hit balls in the 4th inning, but a scoreless 4th.
Here, the Twins are down by a couple to the Nationals, and Twin fans, don't forget at Twin home games, you bring your Circle Me signs, you might find yourself in a Minnesota Lottery winner circle where you could win $100 worth of lottery scratch-off tickets, courtesy of the Minnesota Lottery.
To the 5th, 10 strikeouts through 4 innings for Rourke. It'll be Suzuki, Hughes, and Dozier trying to get on the board here in a 2-0 ball game. Suzuki, like just about everybody else, struck out against Rourke first time he faced him. Strike on the outside corner.
Rourke 10 of 17 first pitch strikes right now.
He has struck out all 9 batters already, and we're only entering the 5th inning.
Yeah, this will be pitch number 75. So after he struck out his 10th last inning, I kind of said between the break, watch out, Roger Clemens or Nolan Ryan, but
Kerry Wood did it.
Yeah, with the pitch count the way it is today, are they going to let him throw 140 pitches?
As an aside, I've heard Joe Maddon's comments after Jake Arrieta's no-hitter the other day, and I said, well, you would have loved to have a manager like that. Maddon, when he took over the Cubs, told his pitching staff, look, if you have a chance to make history, don't worry about us coming to get you with a pitch count. If you get through 8 innings, swing and a miss, another strikeout.
And that ties a career high for Rourke. He did that in 9 innings, his only complete game. But Tanner Rourke today, my goodness, has been on fire as far as the strikeouts. 11 of them so far. Of the 13 outs he's recorded.
Suzuki, maybe the toughest Twin to strike out. And Rourke's already gotten him twice. Hughes squares to bunt, takes ball 1. Anyway, just to wrap up Maddon's comments, he said, look, if you've got a chance to make history, don't worry. We're not going to worry about the pitch count, so don't you even think about it. We're going to let you go out and go get it. And Hughes jabs at it, 1-1. Hughes struck out looking in the second.
Yeah, I don't know how many pitches that Arrieta needed, for his no-hitter, but you know what? As a former pitcher that didn't go through the pitch count, there are times that you can throw 50 pitches because most of them been under duress, and other times you just go out there and you just let it go. Arrieta, I was told, 119 pitches.
But the score was 16-0, so right. I suggest to you there weren't too many of them under duress.
No.
Hughes got a piece, trying to avoid being strikeout victim number 12. My goodness.
And a new career high for Tanner Roark. Went to the breaking ball. That's almost unfair. And Phil Hughes goes down.
Dozier popped up on the first pitch he saw in the first, then went down swinging in the third. Strike one.
Yeah, when he struck out 11, Roark, that was when he pitched his only shutout and complete game at the major league level. That against the Padres back on April 26th of 2014.
Struck out 2 men in the first, struck out the side in the second, 2 men in the third, struck out the side in the fourth. Called.
Tell you what, I mean, he's got everything working. The hard breaking ball, throwing the fastball by a lot of the Twins' bats.
In the third inning, Dozier had a full count and swung at a fastball off the plate.
Some days you wake up and it's your world and everybody else is just passing through. And Tanner Roark has that working today.
2-2. Fly ball down the right side. Harper near the stands, and it's back into the seats.
There's Mike Maddox, the pitching coach, in his first season as a Nationals pitching coach under Dusty Baker. Got a very good staff to work with.
Another 2-2 to Dozier. And now another full count. Again, Brian Chase, what would have been ball 4, leading off the third inning.
Yeah, it was a fastball away.
Trying to get a board for Rosario. Time call. Second time that's happened with Dozier in the box, maybe trying to break Rourke's rhythm a little bit. He is working quickly. You'd tend to do that, wouldn't you, if you've got 3 pitches and you can throw them where you want? And there is a walk, and that'll get Rosario up with a man aboard.
Yeah, third walk for Roark. With the breaking ball there, but Brian took it.
Rosario, of course, with a strikeout and a fly to center. The hardest hit ball for the Twins was Kepler's double with 1 out in the second. And Twins fans have watched Rosario enough to know that it can be anywhere from just barely off the ground to eye high, and he can swing at it.
Yep.
And
shades of Tony Oliva. And he can get good wood on it.
Flip foul.
It must be a sneaky fastball that Rourke has, because that was only at 90 miles an hour, but Rosario's still a little bit late. Maybe having a little tough time picking the ball out of his throwing hand. Rourke at 6'2", about 235. Pretty good batting eye behind the pitcher.
Just off the plate, and it's 1-1. Forget where we were. Might have been in Baltimore watching a taped show. Obviously, it was shortly after Yogi Berra passed away, and Tim McCarver asked Yogi about being a bad ball hitter, and Yogi's answer was in typical Yogi fashion, said, "I didn't think they were bad balls because I could hit them." And you're right, Rosario seems to be that way. We saw him last year take a pitch that was up and in, eye high, and he hit it onto the plaza at Target Field. Twins could use one of those right here. It's been a frustrating ball game, just from the standpoint of making contact. 1-1 to Rosario. And now flip foul, 1-2.
Something off speed right there, a changeup. Rourke has given up 1 home run this year in his first 3 starts.
If I may drop in a Yogiism.
Please.
Yogi must have taped that before he died. That interview with Tim McCarver.
I love it when his wife Carmen asked him, "Yogi, when you do pass, where do you want to be buried?" He said, "Surprise me."
That is a foul ball.
And it was sad to say that Carmen went first. They were a lovely couple. Nice, great people. Had an opportunity in Naples, Florida to interview Yogi because he didn't want to give a speech at a luncheon that they asked me to attend to ask Yogi questions, not only myself but also from the audience. And he was the typical Yogi, just a nice man and so cordial to everybody. And his Yogiism just flows.
1-2 to Rosario, battling Rourke here in the 5th inning.
A couple 3 throwovers right now with Dozier diving back. Brian Dozier does have a couple stolen bases in 2 attempts. Twins have 10 overall as a ball club. They've been caught 4 times.
Foul tip, and Ramos can't hang on. Yogi said of funerals, you have to go to your friends' funerals or they won't come to yours.
There are so many great Yogiisms.
Well, this is quite a battle here, and Rosario, who picked up a couple of home runs already on the season, now 2-2 to Rosario. 95 pitches for Rourke.
Well, there hasn't been too many balls put into play. Dozier, the pop up, and then the fly ball off of the bat of Rosario.
4 outs. Yeah, Mauer's got a single and Kepler's got a double. 2-2 for the Twins left fielder. High pop up short center field. Izzy coming in, and it's the shortstop Espinoza finally puts Rosario away. 12 strikeouts through 5 shutout innings, and Rourke has a 2-0 lead. He's having a tough time with Tanner Roark. Phil Hughes has done okay, but he had the misfortune of giving up his 3 hits consecutively to score a couple of runs in the first.
Well, Phil, all he can do is continue what he's doing.
And now Ramos on a breaking ball whistles a single into left field.
Yeah, first hit off of Phil Hughes since Zimmerman's 2-run single in the first inning.
And that'll bring up Espinosa, the 8th place hitter, with the pitcher Roark hitting 9th.
Ramos picking up the 4th hit by the Nationals.
The Nationals had Ian Desmond, their shortstop, here for a number of years. He's now an outfielder with the Texas Rangers, and Espinosa's trying to make his presence felt, if not at the plate, in the field.
A scrappy little player in his 7th season with the Nationals.
Made his 3rd error last night. There's a ball fouled back. He talked about trying to have an impact in the game as a shortstop in relating, having meetings with the pitching staff, and so I don't know. I mean, you pitched a long time. How'd you feel about infielders coming to the mound to maybe settle you down? Maybe it was of more value to you when you were a younger pitcher.
Yeah, probably more younger. As you become a veteran, you kind of have them stay away. Just leave me alone.
Well, he's your teammate if he wants to come in.
I remember one time in Pittsburgh that Willie Stargell came in. I said, "Do you see me hanging around first base? What do you want out here?" He said, "Well, Chuck Tanner wanted me to come out and just delay as the guys in the bullpen are warming up." I said, "Get out of here, knucklehead."
1-1. And a strike call.
Good fastball down and in. Phil, more of a fly ball pitcher. He's had 1 double play turn behind him so far this year. It's got to be a quick one. Espinosa pretty quick out of that batter's box.
Pitcher spot due next. I doubt they'll take Roark out of the game, although he is approaching 100 pitches. And now down and away, 2-2.
Pitch count always good for Phil. 61 pitches, 40 strikes, 1 walk, just 1 strikeout. That was Drew to end the first inning.
Fouled back. When a tall pop up like that, we get to see the top half of the baseball the entire time from our perch here. 2-2.
That's a good description. A perch.
Yep.
We are a little on the high side.
Our position is.
You like likes?
Our position is, just to be clear. We're don't want anybody
Speak
to get
for yourself.
I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea. Here we are. Let's wave. Two and 2. Danny Espinosa. This one hooked foul.
See, hitters like this would frustrate me as a pitcher. Like Phil Hughes, he's a strike thrower. You just want to have this guy put the ball in play. Hopefully it's on the ground to one of my infielders to turn a double play. Waste a lot of pitches on these guys that just try to make contact.
Unlike Roark, who's approaching 100 pitches, Hughes is just a few ticks over the 60 mark. Another 2-2. Full count.
Just missed outside.
Hughes actually walked a couple of guys in his last start against the Brewers. His first 2 walks of the year. What he did 2 years ago, really remarkable. 16 wins, only 16 home runs allowed, and 16 walks allowed.
Well, Ramos at first base. I would imagine that he would not be taking off here.
And another foul ball.
Foul ball.
The pitch to contact approach does work if the contact is on the ground to an infielder, but when the contact is one foul ball after another, it runs up pitch counts. Ninth pitch of this plate appearance coming up. Took a walk.
Second walk for Phil Hughes. Second game in a row he's walked 2. So unlike Phil.
Pepsi fans of the game, and it is Pups at the Park Day, and fans are invited to.
I've never circled a dog. You are hereby circled.
Taking a selfie with the dog and teasing the dog with a milk bone biscuit over the camera. Neil Allen to the mound, and Rourke will be asked to drop down a bunt here.
Yeah, quick trip to the mound. I think this is not only to get Phil back into the strike zone after his second walk, but also talk about what they're going to do with Rourke bunting right here.
And with a new third baseman. Sano's played a lot of third base, but not recently, and maybe within the conversation. And now the infielders meeting separately apart from Hughes behind the mound. Sano's had one fielding play to make. He made it fine. Rendon's ball that made him charge and throw on the run.
Yeah, Rourke over his career has 14 sacrifices, and he'll try to bunt it, I'm sure, to third baseman Sano, who's come charging in, but he swings away.
And it'll work like a bunt. The slug bunt, pulling the bat back and putting it in play softly. And it won't be a sacrifice bunt, but a job well done by Rourke.
It doesn't matter how you get the job done, he'll get high fives all around. You can see him squaring around and then making contact. And Dozier has to flip it over to Mauer for the first out.
One down, and now Twins will bring the infield in with Heisey at the plate. Tried to bunt for a hit to start the ball game, then he popped up to Mauer. And the Twins will take either one of those in this situation. A bunt back to the mound or a pop-up. Inside, ball one.
Yeah, now with Ramos at third base, not the quickest foot, they don't have to come in on the grass as far as the infield in. They can stay about 10 feet on the dirt area.
He was trying to pitch out of a jam here in the fifth. Strike called, 1-1, as he thought it was up and in.
See where Suzuki wanted that ball down and away, but belt high inside.
Fly ball, short right field. Arcia comes in. There's the catch. Ramos is going to bluff, and Arcia almost overthrew Suzuki. Hughes was backing up, 2 away.
Yeah, good play by Phil Hughes. Arcia did a good job of getting behind that ball so he could make a good throw home. So the second out is retired, and the runners have to hold at second and third.
And that'll bring up Rendon. Infield back at normal depth. Rendon singled with 1 out in the first and ended up scoring on Zimmerman's single.
Yeah, Rendon's been a good hitter for the Nationals. This is his 4th season. He was the Nationals #1 pick in 2011 out of Rice University. Just 25 years old.
and flared foul over the tarp.
Missed some time last year where they sprained a left knee and a left quad strain. Played in only 80 games last year. Don't want to face Bryce Harper. This is a big out right here for Phil Hughes. Keep it at a 2-0 deficit.
To right field, getting closer to the line. 0-2.
Got 2 fastballs that Rondon has been laid on.
Where Rourke has picked up a dozen strikeouts over 5 innings. Phil Hughes has just the 1 strikeout of Drew in the first inning. He doesn't need to strike out Rendon, but kind of tells you that he hasn't overpowered the Nationals by any means.
Well, 2 straight fastballs. See if they stay with the fastball. Maybe that cutter inside.
Fly ball right center field, and Arcia comes in to end the inning. The Nationals threaten, don't score, and it's still 2-0.
Last night in Chicago, the White Sox were hosting the Rangers. The bases were loaded in the 7th inning, and then this very odd triple play. A liner down the right field line. It's a catch. Then the runner is eventually doubled off of first base. The throw home. Then they throw it around the infield a little bit. This play is going to be scored 9-3 to 6-5, and eventually Prince Fielder will be tagged out there. And that will be the first White Sox triple play since September 2006. And Dick and Bert, that one took a bit to unfold.
Thank you, Marty.
First pitch over to Joe Mauer. Sano and Arcia will follow.
See, another reason to go to a ball game. I mean, triple play, those are very rare. Jacoby Ellsbury stole home.
Yes.
You don't see that too often. On a 3-2 count with 2 outs, with Gardner up.
And in the late 80s at Fenway Park, 2 triple plays, almost identical to one another. Gaetti to Newman to first. Nice backhand pickup by Zimmerman. He'll go to the bag. One of the few, I was going to say well-hit balls, one of the few hit balls against Rourke today.
Yeah, defense, you play behind a guy that has 12 strikeouts in 5 innings. You're saying, okay, I'll be ready, but when is one coming? And a nice play by Zimmerman in getting that short hop. So Joe pulling the ball, and Zimmerman getting it in his glove on that little hop. Gets the first out.
Sano with a walk in the first and a strikeout in the fourth. If you just joined us, the headline this morning was Miguel Sano being moved On a short-term basis, we're told, from right field to third base. He's had one fielding play. And probably not a coincidence that the move was made with a fly ball pitcher on the mound.
But the play he did make, that was a nice play he made.
To the right field corner, and Harper chases it. Stumbling, and the ball goes into the seats, and Harper is down on the warning track.
Oh, might have hurt himself.
He's not doing well. Sure what he tripped on. He was well on the grass when he started stumbling.
You can see the dirt on the left knee area. Watch Bryce Harper right here. They kind of just gave away.
He's
kind of buckled.
His feet clicked together. Two strikes to Sano. Another strikeout. Number 13.
Well, every strikeout a career high for Tanner Roark. The pitch count at 102 pitches. This one on a breaking ball. Well, maybe a changeup.
Yeah. Here is Arcia, struck out with 2 men aboard in the first, walked with 1 out in the 4th. Ball 1. And now 1-1. 104 pitches for Roark.
Now 2 starts ago and against the Braves he worked 7 innings to 100 pitches, so he sees it high. But fastball still at 92, 93 miles an hour.
And he's been able to hit his spots with them. 1-2. 2-2.
Roark as a starter, 51st career start. 22 wins, 17 losses, ERA at 3.2. Whoa, hook foul.
Vince Velasquez, part of a rebuilt Philly rotation. And won another strikeout. He's already got 13 of them. Number 14. Tanner Roark is dealing, and the Twins have struck out 14 times through 6 innings. line. He will lead off the bottom of the 6th inning. A double to right, and then a liner to Brian Dozier leading off the 4th inning.
Now, Phil Hughes has only given up 4 hits, 3 of them in that 1st inning.
Harper not afraid to draw attention to himself beyond how well he plays the game, and today he's wearing stirrups. Now you'll see players from time to time roll their pant legs up around their knees, but they're wearing typically a single or a solid stocking underneath it. That's the old style stirrup there.
Yeah, I remember when I came up in 1970, it was required to wear stirrups and also show the TC on the side of your stirrup.
See, Zimmerman has the regular sock. And what was the purpose for the stirrups? I know what the team policy was,
Calvin
but
Griffith just wanted.
No, but I mean, going back to Babe Ruth, they wore them. What earthly good did it do? Why did someone decide, well, that's the way baseball players?
Good question. I have no idea.
We wore it in high school. We wore stirrups.
Extra sock. I mean, you put like a sanitary on first and then the stirrup, little extra protection.
1-2 and a ball flipped foul.
Well, I remember middle infielders like a Danny Thompson or probably even Rod Carew or Cardenas. They would put on 3 or 4 sanitaries and then the stirrups because of guys sliding into second base might get spiked.
Sure.
Back then, you know, everybody wore cleats. They didn't have the rubberized shoes back then.
Down and in, and it's 2-2.
I like it. Yeah, Doug Mankiewicz always wore his pant legs like that.
Twins had a left-handed pitcher at the end of his career, Terry Mulholland, who always wore stirrups. Over Mauer's head, back into that right field corner again, and Harper digs for second. And he's got a pair of doubles. Hit the ball on a line 3 times against Phil Hughes after going hitless last night.
Well, let's do a little pitch by pitch to Bryce Harper, the way that Phil Hughes tried to get him out in this at bat. Strike 1 inside, and then the pitch down as Bryce Harper showed bunt. He fouled it back. Pitch count in his favor. Another foul back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He went back with that same changeup leg, and then the fastball about letter high that you see. We talked about the quick hands of Harper in his first at bat. That was very quick inside how he opened up and hit that ball down the right field line.
Zimmerman with a 2-run single in the first. He was out with the throw being cut off, trying to advance to second, and then he walked in the 4th.
That's not a bad move for Hughes right there, just to show Harper that you do have that spin around move. Dozier's responsibility to keep Harper close to second base.
Strike call. Driven to right. Garcia back.
Harper will tag up.
Garcia's throw to Dozier. Runner at third now, 1 away. Nice to see your cleanup hitter do a little thing like that to advance the runner. Tuesday, May 24th, it's the 12th annual Kids in the City, celebrating the Fox Sports North Boys and Girls Club All-Stars. The event starts with a pregame party at Fulton Brewery, followed by the Twins and Royals game at Target Field. Visit foxsportsnorth.com. Click on upcoming events on the Hot Topics bar for details.
Now, big matchup right here between Drew and Hughes. Hughes struck out Drew his only strikeout to end the first inning, but then in his fourth inning at bat, he jumped on the first pitch. Drew did, and hit a fly ball to Arcia.
High fly. And Dozier and Mauer both staring up, and it is Mauer making the catch. Two away.
Big out. Phil Hughes got a couple of big outs last inning on fly ball outs. And here he gets through to pop up on the first pitch.
That's the thing about this game. It's 2-0. The Twins are very much in the game, provided they can get something done in the top halves of these innings.
And it looks like Rourke is going to go out for the 7th inning at 108 pitches. Nobody warming up in their bullpen.
Worth having a chat with Jim Joyce about something.
Worth 0 for 2, a ground ball out, and then he hit it sharply to Dozier to end the 4th inning, a line drive.
Worth went deep last night on a hanging breaking ball, and so don't know how many of those he's going to see. Breaking balls here. Hughes gets ahead of him, challenges him with a fastball.
Two good fastballs right past the swinging Worth.
You're out there, your team at least today struggling to score runs, and you feel it if you're the pitcher, don't you, that guy at third needs to be left there.
Exactly. Keep this game at 2-0. You know, he threw 2 fastballs by him. You think you got to come right after him again, challenge him. No holds barred, and got him.
3 fastballs, 3 swings and misses, and Harper's leadoff double is wasted. Grand Casino story of the game with the Nationals striking early again.
Yeah, 3 straight hits, Rendon, Harper, and then the 2-run single by Zimmerman made it an early 2-0 Nationals lead. And Tanner Rourke has been outstanding, a career high 14 strikeouts here in the first 6 innings, and he's out there to start the 7th at 108 pitches, 70 for strikes.
Escobar will lead off the 7th. Ball 1, then Kepler, Suzuki, and then the pitcher spot, Phil Hughes. If the Twins can get somebody on base, Hughes will be pinch hit for. 2-0.
You know, credit Phil Hughes too. The last 2 innings, he really had to make some good pitches to keep it at a 2-0 ball game, and he was able to do that.
And a strike now, 2-1. Escobar has struck out twice against Rourke. Once looking, once swinging.
Rourke does have 3 walks in a ball game.
Grounder, 2 hops, easy play for Zimmerman, 1 away. That'll bring up Kepler.
Now Kepler, one of the 2 hits the Twins have, a 1-out double in the 2nd inning. And he is the 10th strikeout victim for Rourke in the 4th.
Down and in to Kepler. Over the screen, out of play, 1-1.
Fastball still at 91, 93 miles an hour. 114th pitch coming home.
And now 2-1. It's just a handful of at-bats, but Kepler has seemed to have a plan when he stepped in the batter's box. There was one quick strikeout a few days ago when he took strike 1, took strike 2, and then swung at strike 3.
I think what you're looking for is plate discipline. What are you looking for? You know, he took a fastball right there, evens the count at 2-2. Try to stay within your swing zone. Wow. Strikeout number 15.
That'll leave it up to Suzuki here in the 7th.
Fastball inside, and that two-seamer that caught the corner coming back. And Ramos framing it right there.
Suzuki has struck out twice. That's how good Rourke has been here today. Suzuki usually the toughest guy in the lineup to strike out. You can probably count on one hand the number of times he's, at least as a Twin, struck out more than once in a ball game. And a foul back, 1 strike.
Suzuki jumping on that first pitch, doesn't want to fall behind.
Suzuki is a Twin, striking out about once every 9 at bats, and a Tapper foul, and it's 0-2. The math is there. The pitch count's high, and he won't have a chance to do it. But Rourke on a pace to approach 20 strikeouts. 0-2 to Suzuki. 1-2. Pitch number 120. Suzuki with a soft liner, another 1-2-3 inning for Rourke, but just 1 strikeout in the inning. The lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, and Rourke with quite an outing here today against the Twins.
Yeah, 121 pitches, 15 strikeouts, and the record for the Nationals was Max Scherzer against the Mets last year in a 2-0 win when he struck out 17 batters.
And Phil Hughes is out there. He'll face the bottom third of the lineup. Ramos, Espinosa, and Rourke. Someone was nice enough on Twitter to give me the definitive explanation as to why players wore stirrups.
Okay.
Back in the day, and we're talking about over 100 years ago, players, of course, wore colored socks. Hence, Boston Red Sox, fly ball center field, and Kepler comes in, and Arcia in front of the center fielder makes a catch.
Arcia, like, you know, this is my territory.
Yeah.
Kind of puts his hands on his hips and looks at Kepler.
One down, and that'll bring up Espinosa. So back in those days, colored socks were made with a dye that could cause an infection if, as you said, players were spiked.
Right.
Okay, so they started wearing white socks under the colored socks to absorb the dye, so in case a player was spiked, the dye wouldn't get into the bloodstream and cause an infection.
Okay.
Well, then it was a problem, because how do you fit 2 pairs of socks into spikes? And so the stirrup design was provided to offer some safety against infection in case a player was spiked without having to actually wear 2 pairs of socks. So there you go.
Makes sense. Get over there, Phil Hughes.
The Hughes found the bag. 2 down. And now we're going to inform you about the Twins flex plan. This is so informational here today. You have the flexibility to choose your games and your number of seats. You can choose in advance or even the day of the game, so don't plan. Flex plan. Go to twinsbaseball.com/flex or call 800-33-TWINS to learn more. Then Decker will hit in the pitcher spot.
Yeah, that's one of the hardest pitchers. You don't for a pitcher to get over there, because Joe Mauer had to come in and then kind of shovel it to Phil Hughes, and in all one motion you have to kind of find the bag and the ball at the same time. You do that in spring training every day. It's PFP, pitcher's fielding practice. But during a regular season game, Phil Hughes, you can see everybody went out to him to kind of let him catch his breath, because we are the best athlete on the field. You know that.
But it's a long ways from the mound to first base. It's about 60 feet. Maybe here's a ground ball to left. And then Decker off the bench swings at the first pitch and gets a single. You can't expect these finely tuned athletic machines to cover 60 feet without needing a few seconds to catch their breath.
And then Decker coming in and pinch hitting for Rourke, who pitched outstanding here. 7 shutout innings. Only 2 hits allowed with the 15 strikeouts. Some action in the Twins bullpen.
Casey Fiend and Fernando Abad. Heisey the batter. Off the plate, ball 1. Nationals out hitting the Twins 6-2. Heisey is 0 for 3. Decker can run a little bit, so Hughes needs to keep at least one eye on him.
Preferably the left one.
And a long look and a step over. Things like that. Now Hughes has thrown over once, but things like that were a point of emphasis with Neil Allen, to get pitchers like Hughes to be more aware of the runners at first and to slow down and stifle the opponent's running game. Hacked wide at first. You know, the Twins' opponents last year pretty much ran at will, and it was a very a soft part of the Twins game, protecting against the running game, and they really emphasized that in spring training, and so far the results have been pretty encouraging.
Yeah, Phil's never had a pickoff to where he's picked a runner off at first base, but you can help your catcher if then Drecker wants to take off here, and maybe an opportunity to get a throw out.
Popped up and out of play. There've only been 7 stolen base attempts against the Twins, 4 successful. At least one of the caught stealings was on a missed hit and run. And another throw over.
And over Phil's career on the mound, 72 stolen bases, successful stolen bases against him. There've been 19 caught stealing. So he is someone that clubs can run against.
Missed inside, 2-2.
I think Phil thought he got the inner part of the plate on that one, started walking back toward the dugout. Phil with 2 strikeouts, a couple walks in the ball game. See Phil back, okay. Too far inside. Ouch.
Mauer dives to his right, makes a nice pickup. Hughes to the bag, just barely got ahead of the head first slide of Chris Heisey.
He was still tired from doing a goal once before in the inning.
And Heisey looking into the Twins or the Reds, excuse me, the Nationals dugout, and see whether they'll challenge this. The Twins players instructed to stay on the field until the Nationals determine whether they want this reviewed.
Well, it gets jammed right here, Heisey, but he does have good speed. Phil getting to the bag before the sliding Heisey.
They're going to look at it, but I don't think, as much as it was a bang play and could have been called either way, I don't think there's enough on replay to overturn it.
Well, Paul Molitor out talking to Jim Joyce about something. Jim Joyce,
I think he wants to bring his team off the field here, I think. And Jim Joyce is saying, hey, we instruct players to stay on the field. Speculation on my part, but I think that's what that discussion was about. Otherwise, everybody gets in the dugout, they put on their batting gloves, get ready to hit, and then they got to come back on the field.
Well, it's a play that Joe Mauer probably could have taken himself, but he decided to flip it to Phil Hughes. We'll have to wait and see what happens here on the call.
Now they're showing the video board from center field here. Cheering here, but from what I see, Hughes got his foot down, the front of his foot down on the bag before Heisey touched the bag. This is the replay that I think will show us. I think his right foot got there before Heisey's left hand patted the bag.
Oh, so close.
And the problem, of course, in this situation is specifically for the pitcher. If they overturn this, then Hughes, it's almost like a break in between innings here.
If Phil wanted to right now, he could throw a couple pitches just in case. Boy.
But that's bang bang, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think Hughes's right foot comes down on the base just as the left hand comes down on the base.
And I think normally if it's a bang bang play, it usually goes to the base runner. But we'll find out right here. Starting to take the headphones off. Jim Joyce still has his on. Jim Joyce, the crew chief. And they call him out.
There just wasn't enough proof to overturn the call. If he had been called safe and the Twins challenged, the safe call, I think, would have stood. So the inning does end, and the Twins are trying to figure out a way to get onto the scoreboard here in a 2-0 game. In center field, and Jorge Polanco will lead things off for the Twins in the 8th inning against Blake Trinan.
Trinan worked the 9th inning in last night's ball game. Did have one walk, that being Buxton. Other than that, retired 3 other batters through 16 pitches, 8 for strikes.
Phil Hughes gave the Twins 7 good innings here this afternoon.
Yes, he did.
And if the Twins can get a couple, they can take him off the hook, and if they can take a lead here, he could get a well-earned victory. Polanco, Dozier, and Rosario in the 8th. Polanco takes low ball 1. Polanco a switch hitter. Just 1 for 5 from the left side of the plate, 0 for 1 from the other side. And a strike, 1-1. Twins with a 5-man bench because of National League rules. Polanco a switch hitter. Right-handers Murphy, Park, Nunez, and Buxton. And wide of the plate, 2-1. Three and 1. Twins have not had a leadoff man on in the ball game. And Polanco takes a walk to start the 8th.
Well, this copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC.
Meeting on the mound, Jim Joyce went to the Nationals dugout to have a chat with Dusty Baker. And I think up to the press box, Jim Joyce announcing the double switch that was made. Here is Dozier. The Twins need a productive at bat from their second baseman. 0 for 2 with a walk. Low ball 1. Average down to 182. And that one down the middle, the target on the outside corner. And Brian's seen a lot of that. Pitches on the outer half of the plate.
Yeah, Triton, good sinking fastball slider in his third season with the Nationals.
2-1. Having a hard time throwing strikes this afternoon after, as you said, walking one guy last night. 8 pitches, just 2 strikes.
Yeah, ball in the dirt. Ramos picking it and keeping Polanco at first.
And 2-2.
Fastball at 95 clocked here.
Time call. This is at least the third time Dozier has asked for time, and as a pitcher is getting ready in case in this case it might have been Ramos asking for time. Dozier did it earlier, I think, trying to break Rourke's rhythm a little bit.
That didn't work.
And now 3-2 with Rosario on deck. Twins got a 2-out single and walk in the first inning. The only time they've had more than one base runner in an inning, and have just 2 hits on the day. Called third strike over the inside corner.
He went with the slider and threw it over and froze Brian Dozier. So another Twin strikeout. Triton going inside with that breaking ball. Ramos framing it, and Dusty Baker out to make a pitching change.
Back-to-back lefties, Rosario and Mauer due up. Triton with a walk and a strikeout. Twins have struck out 16 times today among the 22 outs that have been recorded. And while Major League Baseball's global reach seems to be greater than ever, witness the Twins, players from Germany, South Korea, and so on and so forth, Cuba remains one country that's outside its reach. Watch our special documentary, Cuba, Baseball's Final Frontier, Monday after Twins Live postgame show on Fox Sports North.
That'll be left-hander Oliver Perez coming into the ball game. Perez, herky-jerky type delivery, making his 7th appearance.
And Rosario with a fly ball on the first pitch to center. Then Deckers there makes the catch and a quick second out. That'll bring up Mauer. Mauer with a hit. He hit the ball fairly hard his other time he put it in play. He did strike out against Rourke. Everybody in the lineup did at least once. A single to left and a ground ball to Zimmerman. Mauer 2 for 5 with a walk over the years against Perez. On the outside corner.
Yeah, sweeping breaking ball. Perez, 34 years old. He's in his first season with the Nationals. Pitched for 7 different major league teams. This is his 14th season in the big leagues.
Need a jolt, extra base hit here to shake things up a little bit. Half swing, strike 2.
2 hard sliders away. Now we saw Gio Gonzalez on the mound last night, the left-hander. We're talking about the move, and Perez, one of these guys that will get to that position when he brings up that right leg. He'll hold it for a second. There now, a quicker one there.
Did he go? Jim Joyce says yes. And Perez gets the job done. He gets Rosario for out number 2 on the first pitch, and then gets Bauer to strike out on 3 pitches. To pitch to the Nationals in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Yeah, Casey making his 8th relief appearance, his first appearance here against the Nationals. He worked a couple days ago against the Brewers, 1 shutout inning in the 8-1 win over the Brewers. Casey, 32 years old, in his 5th season with the Twins. High ERA because of a couple poor outings he had earlier this year. in Baltimore and Kansas City.
A bunt in front of Sano. Bare hand, picks, fires. Nice play by Miguel Sano. Heisey, I think way back at the start of the ball game in the first inning, tried to do that. Sano was playing back on the skin of the infield. You can't make that play any better than he just did.
Not at all. The big man comes in right here. You can see the bunt a little bit on the hard side, but allows Sano to barehand it and then all in one motion make a good throw, and Joe Mauer has to use that 6'5" frame to get that, but a nice defensive play by Sano.
And now Harper. I asked Paul Molitor this morning about Trevor Plouffe and where he's at on the disabled list, and he said simply there's still discomfort in the area and they can't even think about resuming baseball activity until the soreness is out of it. So it would tell me that it's not going to be just 15 days. It's going to be more than that, but I'm not a doctor.
Well, never having an oblique strain, but I know with guys that have had it, and sometimes it can linger for a long time. Just the severity of it.
Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Good fastball by Casey Fiend of 94.
Harper's hit the ball hard 3 times here.
Good fastball.
Bringing you Fox Tracks. And driven foul down the left field line. In the event Plouffe is unable to come back shortly after the 15 days are up, the preferred option would be Danny Santana to play third base. It's very likely he'll be activated in time for the first game of the homestand on Monday. But you can't quarrel with what Sano has done defensively here in his first game. And let's give the man a tip of the cap. He has taken some ground balls there on this road trip since Trevor went down with the injury, but he did not take any ground balls there in spring training. He was trying to focus on the conversion to the outfield.
Right, a new position. But again, it's nothing new to Sano to play third base. He did that mainly in the minor leagues.
1-2 to Harper.
Harper keeps fouling off that fastball. Fiend going right after him.
Well, I told Sano this morning when I saw the lineup, I said, well, it's just like riding a bike. And he understood every word I said, but I don't know that he understood the colloquialism, that we say here. Well, it's just like getting back on a bicycle. Right. I'm not sure that he understood that, but.
Did he say he had a bike?
1-2 to Harper, battling Casey Fiend. Check swing. I think he went foul tip, in fact, and Suzuki hung on, and Harper looks in the dugout, but that's strike 3. Carsoup.com trivia question. Had one of my followers on Twitter tip me off. We can use that, can't we? It's a lifeline.
Oh, heck yeah.
It's Bruce Bochy, I believe.
Yep. With the Giants now, there's the Padres.
This constructive use of Twitter. It can be such a destructive social medium, but it can be very constructive.
Well, see, I go right to the American League. I think the longest tenure manager is Mike Scioscia. You would think that he would have more. I forgot about Bruce Bochy.
2 down in the 8th. Another Twitter follower of mine.
What? How many? 5, 6?
Yeah. See, my 2 kids, my wife. But brought up a very good point the other day. When we talk of Byung-ho Park being from Korea, we should distinguish that he is from South Korea. And the Twitter follower was absolutely right. There is a
Yes.
Frighteningly significant difference between North and South Korea. Papelbon warming up for the ninth.
And we will remember that.
Yes, we will. At least I will.
Me too. I don't remember too many things, but I'll remember that.
So here today, Twitter's been useful in informing our viewers about why players ever wore stirrup socks in the first place. And it kept our record of giving the correct answer on our trivia questions intact for nearly 21 years now.
We appreciate that.
2 strikes to Zimmerman.
And you didn't say anything last night because I called Kyle Gibson last night.
That's right.
I didn't make a mistake. Well, on that.
The pot still is at what, $74 or $1 a time?
It's up there.
Up and away, and it's 1-2. Zimmerman's single back in the first inning, producing the only runs in this game so far. Meanwhile, the Twins in the 9th inning will try to avoid setting a team record for strikeouts in a game. They're sitting at 17, and the record is 18. 1-2. And Zimmerman keeping his at bat alive.
Now Fiend throwing strikes. 13 pitches, 11 have been over the plate. He's challenging these Nationals here in the 8th inning. Trying to get the guys back on the bench, score about 3 or 4 runs, and win this baby. Jonathan Papelbon warming up in the bullpen for the Nationals.
Great at bat. Zimmerman has his second hit. A 2-out single. Lined sharply to center field. And that'll bring up Steve and Drew. Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is presented by T-Mobile. Get major league coverage. T-Mobile has doubled its 4G LTE in the last year. That'll bring up Steve and Drew. Twins still hope to take away a win out of this game. But where the game stands right now, I think they can take away Phil Hughes' best start of the year, particularly pitching well in the 5th and 6th innings when the Nationals were threatening to increase the lead.
Yeah, he had a tough time getting going, but when he got through that first inning, he settled down nicely. Only gave up a couple hits. Excuse me, 3 hits for the next 6 innings.
2-0. From Fiend to Drew. And now 2-1. Fouled behind Drew to the on-deck circle where Worth batted it away. Check of the runner at first. Up and away, now 3-1. Green got the first 2 outs quickly and then battled Zimmerman. Zimmerman won the battle and now struggling to throw strikes to Drew. Strike on the outside corner.
And you almost have to come back with the same pitch.
Fiend steps off the rubber. Looked right before he did that over to Mauer, who's not holding the runner. The left-handed batter up there. Foul tip, and Suzuki can't hang on. The at-bat's still alive.
Yeah, Drew, 33 years old. most of his playing career in the big leagues with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Also spent time with the Oakland A's, Boston Red Sox, Yankees the last couple years. His first season with the Nationals, signing as a free agent over the winter.
Lifted foul into the seats. This game so far reminiscent of so many the Twins played in the first week and a half. Pitching has been okay, not overpowering obviously, but certainly good enough to win a ball game, keep the team in the game. The bats have been deathly quiet here today.
Well, I can thank Tanner Rourke for that. My goodness.
Another bouncer foul.
If you haven't been watching, Tanner Rourke worked the first 7 innings, allowed only 2 hits, and both of those coming in the first and second inning. A career high 15 strikeouts he had against the Twins.
Fein had a long battle with Zimmerman. Now this is the 9th pitch of this plate appearance. Finally he strikes out Drew, ending the inning, and we head to the 9th with the Twins down 2-0. They'll try to see if lightning can strike with Jonathan Papelbon. Sun has broken out here in D.C. The Nationals leading 2-0.
Zimmerman getting that big hit in the first inning that scored the only 2 runs of the ball game. Dusty Baker likes what he has seen so far from his ball club that has started the season 12-4, looking for win number 13.
Jonathan Papelbon trying to pick up the save for Washington.
Well, Papelbon came into this year. Last year got traded from the Phillies over to Washington. He came into this season with 349 saves in his career.
Middle of the Twins lineup starting with Sano. Check swing and a strike. The team record for strikeouts in a game, 18 in a 9-inning game, 18 back in September of 1995. Kirby Puckett's last year. Fouled back, 2 strikes. And other high strikeout guys that year, Marty Cordova struck out 111 times. Rich Becker struck out 95 times, 94 of them looking.
You got a guy on the mound right here that averaged about over 10 strikeouts per inning. So when he gets into this count, he uses that split finger, and it's a nasty one.
And Sano doesn't like strike 3. Club record tying 18th strikeout.
Papelbon's always had a good fastball, but his strikeout pitch is that splitter. You can see that looked maybe a breaking ball, but it might have been the splitter. It moves so many different ways.
Oswaldo Arcia. Chuck Knobloch struck out 95 times in 1995. Significant because it was not a full season played that year, just 144 games. We started late because of the replacement player fiasco. 1 strike to Arcia.
Jim Joyce cleaning the plate for a reason. Maybe giving Ramos a little breather. Get a foul ball off of him.
1 strike to Arcia. Arcia has walked and struck out twice. And Arcia now squawks at Jim Joyce.
That just makes the plate a little bit bigger. Well, Ramos sitting outside.
Well, in this case, it looked like Arcia had a point. And a check swing, 1 and 2, both those pitches. According to Fox Tracks, outside. Busted his bat, a 2-hopper to second. Stephen Drew throws him out, 2 down. That'll leave the game up to Eduardo Escobar. Coming up tomorrow, it'll be Tyler Duffy called up from Rochester to start in place of Irvin Santana, who has a stiff back, and Steven Strasburg will go for the Nationals. Twins had all they could handle today with Tanner Roark. It won't get any easier tomorrow with Strasburg on the mound.
Strasburg off to a great start, 3-0, and ERA about 1.5.
Outside, ball 1. Escobar has struck out twice and hit a ground ball to first. The only player who has not struck out at least twice is Eddie Rosario. He struck out the first time and then hit the ball in the air 3 times. 2-0. On deck hitter is Kepler. Escobar trying to get him to the plate. 3-0. Escobar will be taking here.
The Twins have been shut out 2 times already this year, once by Kansas City, once by the White Sox.
Right down the middle. Papelbon took a little extra time to collect himself. And now 3-1 to Escobar.
Same pitch, fastball.
That slap to left. Worth is there. And Papelbon gets his save. And the Twins, with just 2 hits and 18 strikeouts, lose the ball game 2-0.
Right. I thought Phil Hughes, he kept the club in the game after he gave up a couple runs in the first inning, but you got to tip your hat to Tanner Roark. My goodness, what an afternoon he had with 15 strikeouts in the 7 shutout innings.
Tom Hanham and the Twins can't have a winning road trip. We'll see what they can do tomorrow against Steven Strasburg, hoping to head home with a 2-3 road trip.
Budget up. Nice job.